Good afternoon, South Central here. I am in my treatment room at work at the end of the day. I wanted to come on and make a quick video about quiet subversion. I am Gold Star single. I'm a one and done mom. I am at the top of my career. I have an amazing job, with an amazing view from my office. And I've spent my entire adult life focusing on me, focusing on the things that I wanted. And, I love my kid and I took care of him. I raised him. He is doing well. He has a good job. He doesn't have any children. He's never been, in any trouble, never given me any trouble outside of your normal, stuff that you deal with, especially with boys, you know what I mean, as in this day and age as they get older. I don't know what's going on. Well, I do know what's going on. It's an energy shift going on, and it's been going on for quite a while. For me, my own son, as much as I love him, around 18 years old, he started changing. You know what I mean? He started changing and started becoming disrespectful, and, it has just progressed. But, you know what I mean? I've always been a mother of a son. I've never been a boy mom. So I don't let him, I don't let him drag me. Like, he had to get out of my house. You know what I mean? I let him stay with me well into his late 20s, and he had to leave. And he's already tried to come back 3 separate times. You know what I mean? But I'm getting off track. But I've stood my ground, and I'm not letting him. Last time he asked if he could come and bring his girlfriend with him so he could save money. And I'm like, no. You got a great job. You can afford to take care of yourself. I don't know what you're doing with your money, but you can't come live here and then disrespect me in my house. And I got to deal with all the BS. But anyway, that in itself is one of my ways of quiet subversion. I have never allowed my son to drag me, walk all over me. He's been doing his own laundry since he was 13. I started teaching him how to cook around the same time. It took us years for him to master rice, but he got it. I've never allowed him to just sit on his behind. He did used to keep his room like a complete sty, which really got on my nerves. But I never let up. I stayed on him about it. And the reason I stayed on him is because I knew if I didn't, it would only get worse. It would escalate in the severity. So, this is what I had to do. And anyone who's ever lived with, a boy or, young men, which I had an older brother who I lived with off and on growing on. I remember this from him. And it was the same sort of thing. Anyway, I'm going to go through these points that I took down about quiet subversion. So one of the first ways is by withholding my dollar. Whoever I don't like, and when I say whoever I don't like, I mean everybody. The Chinese beauty supply. Since there have been Chinese beauty supplies, I think that I've been in a Chinese beauty supply all of 5 times in my entire adult life. I don't mess with them. And the reason is the disrespect. You're not going to disrespect me, and then I'm going to come and spend my money with you while you treat me like crap. Absolutely not. I have never participated in holiday shopping, no Christmas presents. I do not consume alcohol, so they don't get my money with all the taxes they put on it. I stopped purchasing Starbucks in the 2010s. Matter of fact, it was 2012 to be specific, because I was back in the city. Um, I refuse to couple up. I am a gold star single. I don't want to do anything for you. I can't couple up because I'm not doing none of that stuff that males expect. I'm not doing any of it. I'm not picking up after you. I'm not washing your clothes. I'm not cooking for you. I'm not making you no plate and bringing it to you. I'm not having sex with you. I'm not jeopardizing my health. You know what I mean? I'm not dealing with your moves. I don't want you in my space. I don't want you, I can't. And it has absolutely nothing to do with, you've been hurt. No, I don't want to deal with you. I have had a father and I had a brother. They have both passed on. And while I'm not saying I'm happy, I'm never dealing with that again. I'm not dealing with living with a man. And then I had to deal with my son. Never again. I'm not interested in dating, but if I was, you can't stay in my house. You gotta have your own house. Anyway, second way that I do my quiet subversion is I do not give men money. Period. My father told me that I had a right to be maintained in a manner that I was accustomed by a man. I'm supposed to be, my money belongs to me. And a man should not be asking you to provide for him. Men are the maintainers of women. That's what I was taught. Although I don't follow religion anymore. These dudes out here be claiming to. So I don't understand how you coming up in my face asking me to give you money. But then you want to throw the whole religion thing up in my face. This whole, just whenever it fits the narrative, this is it. And whenever it doesn't fit the narrative, you an independent woman. You know what? I'm going to stay over here independent with my money. And you stay over there independent with your money. And you spend your money on you. And I'll spend my money on me. And I promise I won't ask you for nothing. And you can't ask me for nothing. And that's the end of that. So, I do not ask men for money. I do not give men money. And that's it. I'm not taking care of no grown man. And I told my father that when I was 9 years old. Specifically related to my bum, alcoholic, crackhead, chain weed smoking foster brother. But, it was a conscious decision and a conscious statement. And I meant it. And I've held fast. I've stood on my square for the entirety of my life since I'm 9. The next way is I openly and visibly rest and recuperate. And, I appear relaxed. And the reason I do that is, one, is like, easy breezy is my natural style. But the other reason is I know that it irritates people to see black women resting. I realized that when I was a little girl, just from the men in my family. And not even just the men in my family. Everybody. If you get caught chewing, somebody was irritated about it and wanted to put you to work. And that theme stayed, consistent till now. And I have made a conscious and purposeful effort to look relaxed and look calm. And it irritates the crap out of folks. I know it does. Anyway, the next way is I'm a very confident person in my profession. And, I'm at the top of my game. And I enjoy what I do. And I enjoy displaying my mastery. I have zero imposter syndrome. I know what I'm doing. I'm a 24-year veteran of my profession. And while I'm sure there's somebody out there who is better than me, I haven't met them. I wish I could clone myself and work on myself. In fact, I do work on myself all the time. I've developed some techniques to, do like deep tissue techniques for self-massage. And I'm actually going to do some videos about that because it's been really helpful. But anyway, I digress. For whatever reason, it really irritates people when Black women are as competent as we are, just en masse. And I refuse to shrink myself to make somebody else feel comfortable. No, I'm not doing that. And the last thing is I take really good care of myself, like openly and like visibly take really good care of myself. I talk to I mentioned in passing, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to be in the sauna, I can't wait to get in the sauna. You know what I mean? Going to the med spa, or I had this done, or I do these things for myself, and people know that they have a decent price point. When you talk about going to the med spa, people know that the gym costs money, and you got one with the sauna, so you're paying for amenities. People see, how you put yourself together. They see the condition of your skin. It all, and they're sizing you up, and it's everybody. Trust me, everybody you come into contact with, yes, they are. I don't care who's talking about, don't nobody care about you. Yes, they do. Whatever. And I make it a point to always look relaxed. Never let them see me sweat. And being born lucky as I was and am, it's been working out. So I just wanted to make this video real quick. I know it's choppy, and we'll even see if I even post it, but I think I probably will. Because I've been thinking about this for several days, and these are things that I have done the entirety of my life consistently without breaks, and I have benefited from it just overall throughout my life. And I know that everything that you do is political. Everything you do, from what you eat, to where you work, to where you live, to what you pay at the pump, it is all political. And this quiet subversion, the way that I live my life, is a political statement. Political statement made by one, and as understated as it is, I'm proud of it, and I will continue to do it. And if Black women en masse do what I do, people will notice. They will take notice, just like they're taking notice that we're not participating in the protests, and we're not out here getting rah-rah like they would like us to do, so that they can institute martial law. But that's a whole nother conversation. Anyway, quiet subversion. Get on it. This is Self-Centered, and I'll see you next time.